Hello everyone, Personate7 here, back with part 3 of Dragonball Terraria Calamity. Still not sure what to call this series. Actually I did, never mind. Anyways, we start off this episode turning off infernum mode. I know, yeah, I still did have revengeance mode on because I found out that's actually not too much more difficult than expert. But I turned off infernum mode because I figured I would do that as like its own like series, like you know how people have done Master mode for the worthy as its own series, or masochist mode. I guess it's now called eternity mode, but whatever. Also, I have a new mic, so tell me in the comments how it sounds. Also, I felt the series wasn't really gonna go anywhere if I just was spending, you know, making dozens and dozens of attempts, just attempting one boss, and then just progression to the next one would be just that much more of a slog. Now, it could be because I'm using the farmer shotgun from Dragonball Calamity, or from Dragonball Terraria. That's maybe understandable since, you know, it's not a very strong weapons on its own, so could be that, but whatever. Now, but to compensate for this, I decided to turn on anti-buff mode, because part of me was actually sort of curious to see, you know, what the anti-buffs, like, buffs gave, like when you killed a boss, and so I thought, you know, that'd be kind of interesting to do, you know, beating, like, Calamity entirely with no buffs at all. You know, like, thinking about it, you know, late game, I guess, like, when you get to Yaren, or I guess, you know, post Moonlord, would probably be pretty difficult with no buffs, especially since I am going for the, Dragon Ball class, or the key class, whatever it's called, where I'm going to have to rely a lot on, I guess, buffs in general, just to, like, maintain my key. Also, health regeneration is going to be an important factor as well, because if I can't, like, maintain Super Saiyan form for, I guess, an extended amount of time in order to fight bosses, I'm going to have to rely on the Kaioken technique in order to just deal a bit more damage to bosses. And Kaioken doesn't drain your ki, but it drains your health, like a specific amount of time per second. It actually drains your health fairly quick. And season 1, not part 1, in season 1 of Dragon Ball Terraria, I couldn't actually make use of it because it drained too much health. I couldn't regenerate health fast enough. Even with endgame equipment, by the time you got like Kaioken times 20, it was still draining way too much health to make it viable. Anyways, now that, you know, I've turned off Inferno mode and turned on anti-buff, I did want to see, you know, how much easier Desert Scourge would be, as that is the next boss on the checklist. You know, when I did it in Inferno mode, I was, like, nowhere close, but, you know, I wanted to see, you know, if I could actually beat Desert Scourge within, you know, just revengeance mode. Now, as you can see, even with that terrible, like, just awful movement and dodging, I still did a pretty decent amount of damage, you know, almost halfway. You know, you can tell it's been a while since I fought, like, an Eater of Worlds style boss. You know, I've been getting Crimson as my main biome that I keep getting, because, you know, sometimes I pick Crimson because, in my opinion, you know, expert Brainy Cthulhu is much easier than expert Eater of Worlds. Like, in my opinion, he like Brainy Cthulhu should like receive a massive buff. I don't even like know like what, because Eater of Worlds just, I feel like it's just so much easier. Like, of course you can counter Eater of Worlds easier with, like, you know, a pierce weapon, but I mean, like, if you have to get a specific type of weapon or to beat a boss, I do consider that boss, you know, semi-difficult. But before I decided to fight Desert Scourge again, I figured it was probably a good idea to expand my arena a bit more, because movement early game is really important. Now here's round 2 of Desert Scourge versus me. Now I must say, you know, the Desert Scourge theme is pretty good, you know. Something I forgot about Calamity Mod is that Calamity Mod has some pretty good boss music. Probably the most famous of just all Terraria music in general would probably be Destroyer of, no, I think it's like Destroyer of Gods, Eater of Gods, I can't remember. It's been a while since I last played Calamity. Now because, you know, Desert Scourge was like incredibly easy, I decided to just, you know, like just head on to the next boss, as I figured I was probably strong enough to beat it. And I believe the next boss was Cthulhu on my not on my chart, but the on the boss list from that one mod. I really should know the name of. Anyways, because how easy it is, I decided to just jump right into it. Cause Cthulhu is like one of the, my opinion, the best early game boss for expert mode in general, just because the Shield of Cthulhu you get is an incredibly powerful accessory that I end up using like really up until like early or hard mode 12. Like after I beat the mechanical bosses, I usually discard it because the dodge you get from that is really good and can really be used like a crutch that I just end up using for like my defense. And I didn't even know that like in Revengeance mode you got like an even like better and stronger version of it, or not a better stronger version, just like a better just version of it, like being the counter scarf, I believe it's called, where if you dodge into an enemy at the right time, I think you take no damage from that attack and you gain a small attack boost from it. Apparently I didn't have anti-buff mode enabled at this point, but I swear I do have enabled like later on in the episode. Now, even though I do end up killing him, I end up killing myself in the process by just jumping off the end of my platform in order to dodge, but I still won, so it doesn't matter. And this is the accessory I was talking about. Now, I'm not sure how how useful it would be when I'm like able to fly for a really long time once I get I guess not, well, I guess late game, yeah, I guess that'd be the right term. Not sure how like useful that'd be, because I'm not sure like if it would work in midair, since it's not really programmed to be, I guess, workable in midair. I mean, maybe because, you know, you have wings, but that's not flying like permanently. I end up using the counter scarf over the Shield of Cthulhu because, while, you know, the Shield of Cthulhu is easier to use, the counter scarf in my opinion is a lot stronger, since, you know, getting a damage buff when you successfully dodge into an enemy is a lot stronger than being able to, you know, damage the enemy with a dash. But of course this depends on how good you are at being able to dash into the enemies at the perfect time. Now the next boss on the list is Crabulon. Now for this boss you have to fight him underground, obviously, so that gave me an idea, you know, what if I used the meteor shot in order to maximize DPS. Now I didn't immediately get meteor shot, as I didn't immediately think of it. I never really use meteor shot in vanilla Terraria or just in Terraria in general. I usually just stick with normal bullets until I can go up to Ichor or Chlorophyte, and then even then I switch to Luminite just like lightning fast, or Crystal bullets, those are pretty good as well. Anyways, I didn't get meteor shot immediately, but I was collecting some mushrooms in order to actually make the spawner. now because I just remembered, or I guess remember what I was playing, is that, you know, I Cthulhu drops the Kaioken doll in order to, you know, do the first level of Kaioken. So I was waiting for nighttime, you know, to actually be in order to fight I Cthulhu, but then another blood moon decided to spawn, so that's always fun. And I forgot to patch up, I guess, the little, I don't know, exploit the zombies can get through. Anyways, I figured I would just take the time to expand the base and add more houses since I do want the goblin to move in soon. So I was just gonna preemptively make some space for him so, you know, I can actually utilize him and do the RNG slot machine that is known as reforging. Although thinking about it, RNG slot machine is like saying cold. Now, once night fell, I fought I Cthulhu a second time, and I was awarded with my Kaioken doll. Fun. Though I'll never use this technique early game, like pretty much at all, because it drains 5 health a second. I can't afford that, like, at all. I can't regenerate that much health, and I'm not really sure, like, if it would be worth it, because I feel like the best you could do is maybe regenerate like 7 health per second, and so like if a boss hits you, you're pretty much gonna have a hard time regenerating health. So I guess it should only be used if it's like, I don't know, the boss is almost dead, you're almost dead, you just need that extra bit more damage. Although I guess if you're almost dead, you really don't want to use a technique that would reduce your life even further. Of course, if you've seen season 1, you already know what this technique looks like, but if you haven't, well, here's what it looks like. Pretty cool, if I must say. Now, I must say that this is a heavily underrated mod. It's a shame that, you know, not as many people, or I don't really see many people playing about it. But I guess that makes sense since, you know, you kind of have to be into anime in order to really enjoy this. I mean, you don't really have to, but you probably get a lot, like, better experience if you were into anime. Now, Crabulon took multiple attempts for me to actually do this. The last attempt is the attempt I used Meteor Shot and I won that one. So I guess here's the, I won't show the full fights for all the attempts because they were all semi-close. But I guess, I'll just show me dying to them. Now this attempt, ooh boy. 277 health left. Ooh. It's honestly quite frustrating whenever I finish a boss, or I don't finish a boss, I died to a boss and he has like less than 500 health left, and I just look at that and was like, you know, if I had just dodged a bit better on that last attack, I could have beaten him easily. Well, I finally did it. Now, Crabulon doesn't offer like any too interesting accessories that I can use except for that mythical clump he dropped. Although I kept switching it out for other stuff, as you know, the +5 armor penetration from the shark tooth necklace is I kind of do want that as a staple, and I'm not really sure like what other accessories I would get rid of at this moment. Now I started setting up an arena for Brainy Cthulhu, as you know, Meteor Shot would obviously be very, very good against Brainy Cthulhu. Now it just goes to show, you know, just how easy Brainy Cthulhu is, cause I never actually use Meteor Shot against him. I just felt like it's not necessary. He's just kind of that easy. You know, I say he's incredibly easy, but then I die to him. But you know, it was my first time doing a Revengeance mode Brainy Cthulhu, so I didn't really know that his attack pattern changed once his health got low enough. Once his health gets low enough, I think it's probably like like below like 30% or below, and he like goes into the, I guess, Mirage, you know, the 4 brains illusion thing. He starts just moving around a lot and homing in on the player and attacking. This gets progressively harder, especially when there's like 4 Brainy Cthulhus that look exactly alike, so you just kind of have to guess which one to shoot at. But you know, with Meteor Shot, you know, you really don't have to guess much. You know, I keep calling it Meteor Shot, but like, it's probably called, what, like, Meteor Bullets or something like that. Anyways, a Goblin Army has arrived, so that's good for me. I say he's incredibly easy, but yet again, I I end up dying to him. And I was really close that time, 192 health. He's Anyways, I'm gonna end the episode here. I feel like it's long enough now, and I don't really want to burn through all my content. I know if I keep editing, I'm gonna show, Goblin Army, then Perforator, then of course Slime God. And anyways, I'm gonna end this episode here. Thanks so much for watching. For those wondering, I will be uploading Battles 2. I'm not gonna stop entirely, as first two videos were incredibly successful. Those two are probably gonna be more successful than my first episode of Dragonball Terraria. But I'm gonna wait till 1.04 for Battles 2 comes out, as currently I don't find it too fun to play, so I'm not gonna keep playing. Yes, it could help grow my channel a lot, but at the same time I don't want to force myself to play a game that I'm just not having fun playing.